powerful magnitude 8.8 earthquake.
Magnitude 8.8 earthquake
struck off the coast of Russia yesterday, sparking these tsunami warnings and evacuations.
Could a single earthquake in Russia really send a tsunami racing across the Pacific, all the way to Hawaii and California? An 8.8 magnitude underwater earthquake has just struck off of the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia, tied for the 6th strongest quake ever recorded anywhere on Earth. That's a release of energy equivalent to more than 200 million tons of TNT, comparable to 15,000 Hiroshima bombs going off at once. In this video, we're deep diving into the forces behind this event, how megathrust earthquakes launch ocean-spanning tsunamis, why some places were battered by 16-foot waves while others barely noticed, and how it may have even triggered a volcanic eruption. July 30th, 2025, a violent shift happened deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, just 80 miles off of Russia's eastern coast. In mere seconds, two colossal slabs of Earth slipped past each other, releasing a burst of energy that rippled outward like a detonation deep below. This wasn't just a small fracture. It happened at a subduction zone, where one of Earth's huge tectonic plates is slowly sliding underneath another. As you can see on this map, the North American plate and Pacific plate meet at the subduction zone right near Russia. This earthquake was caused by the Pacific plate being pushed down beneath the North American plate, building up enormous pressure over time. These kinds of megathrust quakes are the most powerful natural events on Earth, capable of shifting hundreds of miles of seafloor in seconds. Imagine the ocean floor as a tightly compressed spring. Over decades or centuries, pressure builds between two tectonic plates. Then suddenly, it slips. In that instant, the seafloor can rise by tens of feet across an area the size of a major city or small country. That upward jolt shoves an entire column of ocean water, trillions of gallons, upward and outward in all directions. And those tsunami waves, they don't look like walls of water in the open ocean. They move more like invisible shock waves, traveling up to 500 miles per hour, as fast as a commercial airliner. When they reach shorelines, the energy gets squeezed into shallower depths, which can amplify wave heights in terrifying ways. It's not the first time this fault near Russia has unleashed devastation. In 1952, a massive quake here sent a 60-foot wall of water crashing into coastal towns. That's enough to engulf a 5-story building. Now in 2025, we're seeing the most powerful quake in this zone in over 70 years, and one of the strongest anywhere on Earth since 1900, 8.8 magnitude. After the earthquake, tsunami warnings were issued for dozens of countries across the Pacific in an area called the Ring of Fire. These included the US, Japan, Canada, Chile, New Zealand, and several Pacific Island nations. In Japan, for example, over 1.9 million people were urged to evacuate. In Peru, 65 ports shut down as waves of over 7 feet were predicted. Hawaii, sitting more than 4,000 miles away, still saw 5-foot waves roll in, enough to swamp coastal streets and force evacuations. Meanwhile, eastern Russia took the full brunt. In some narrow bays, waves reached over 13 feet high, funneled and amplified like water through a fire hose. In Honolulu, sirens wailed during rush hour. Harbors and airports shut down. While the damage was limited, the fear was real and justified. In Japan's Hokkaido region, waves crept up silently at first, then surged to over 3 feet in under 20 minutes. Back in Russia, the town of Severodvinsk faced the worst flooding. Nearly 2,000 people evacuated. Roads became rivers, and emergency responders waded through waist-deep water. And then, a new threat emerged. The nearby Klyuchevskoy volcano, one of the most active in the world, erupted just hours after the quake. Was it a coincidence? Maybe not. Some scientists believe the quake destabilized magma chambers, triggering the eruption. There had been warning signs of the 8.8 magnitude earthquake. Just 10 days earlier, a magnitude 7.4 quake shook the same region, now considered a foreshock to the main event. If the earthquake was so significant, why was the tsunami not as severe for most areas? Although experts are still analyzing the impact and extent of the earthquake's effects, there are a few factors. Yes, 8.8 magnitude is enormous, but depth, speed, and rupture area all shape how much water gets moved. It's also not just distance, it's underwater geography. The shape of the ocean floor and coastline can determine wave height. In this situation, it's also incredible that international coordination worked and likely saved lives. Tsunami centers in Hawaii, Japan, and Russia issued alerts within minutes. Sirens sounded. Evacuation systems kicked in. In Russia, newly modernized warning systems built after previous disasters saved lives. Despite the scale of this event, the human cost has remained low. Rapid alerts, better science, and coordinated public response made the difference. So what did we learn from this event? That a single rupture deep beneath the sea can send energy halfway across the globe. That local geography can turn big surges from earthquakes into milder tsunamis. And that when natural forces come into play, every second counts. This is just one story about the raw power our planet holds. If you're fascinated by earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanoes, and the science behind them, subscribe and join us as we uncover the most powerful natural forces shaping our world.